Hello and welcome to the global unveiling of Nissan's new Qashqai. We are live from a studio in East London and I'm gathered together with some 300 journalists from all over the world, not to mention a couple of selected existing Qashqai owners. Now, why the hustle and bustle? Well, we're gathered for what is Nissan's most successful selling car. This is a car that invented a whole new genre, a genre that didn't exist since before 2006. Cast your mind back to 2006 when there was the Micra at one end of the spectrum and there was the GTR at the other, as there is today. But in the middle, there was stuff like Almiras and Primeras, which weren't, should we say, that memorable. Then the Qashqai came along, a car which defined a whole new era, the crossover. The crossover is what? A car that looks like a car, but actually is more like an SUV, yet without the running costs of an SUV. An urban-proof vehicle, which is why you've got all of these advertising posters behind me. I'm going to join my first guest, who's called David Parkinson. Now, David, really pleased to meet you. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm good.
Are you excited?
I'm very excited.
Now, what's your title? Social and Digital Engagement.
So I'm General Manager of Social and Digital Engagement for EMEA plus India.
Now, let's first talk about this event. For a start, we are not at a motor show.
We're not. We're here at 3 Mills Studio in London to launch the new Qashqai to the world.
What's amazing for me is normally you'd see this sort of event at a motor show, like say in 2 weeks' time at the Tokyo Auto Show or the LA Auto Show. Nissan's decided to tread its own path and set up this whole unique experience. Why?
So Qashqai is a very special car for Nissan. We felt it deserved a special treatment, and as such we brought it here to 3 Mills to unveil it, show it to the world's media and show how proud we are of this new car.
Now, how long does it take to build a campaign like this? Because I know you've been working away at this for a long time.
Yes, I'm also Programme Director of managing this event, and we've been planning this for 6 months now. 6 months?
Yeah. Wow, that's incredible. Now, before 2006, Nissan was not thought of as being that a daring company, but now I think they've done some extremely bold things, haven't they? And as such, the models have become much bolder. You know, it seems like an age ago that we had models that weren't the Duke and the Qashqai, things that were kind of, you know, like the Almira and the Primera seem like dinosaurs almost now.
You know, we're about change and we're about making sure that we always move forward and bring cars out that the customers want, cars that we want to build. And this new Qashqai is a bold definition of that.
Let's talk about the competition that you launched earlier in October. What's the relevance to this event?
So we wanted to get real customers to give their input into what they thought was innovative and exciting, and to do a picture competition. And through that we took their ideas from the competition and we're using them as part of the unveil. So I can't tell you yet, it's a big secret, but when we get to the unveil you'll see how we've used those customers' inspirations.
Fantastic. Thanks ever so much. We're now going to watch a video which highlights the milestone that the Qashqai went through, which was the millionth car produced, which was back in 2011, June 2011. Now you just saw. You just saw that video where they've made 1 million Qashqais. Actually, the sales now are 2.1 million. That's global sales of Qashqai. They're all made in the UK in the Sunderland plant. I'm now joined by a chap called Etienne Henry. Etienne, hi. Very pleased to meet you. Now, Etienne, you are the Vice President of Product Strategy and Planning. More importantly, you are the man that was here for the birth of this car right from square one, am I right?
Yeah, absolutely. I had the chance to be part of the adventure for the very first Qashqai, starting back in 2004 when Nissan was struggling to grow, having quite traditional lineup of models with cars like Primera, Almera, and so on. So we decided there to be bold and brave and come with something new, really breaking ground. So that's where Qashqai came from.
That's the thing about it. I mean, no one had heard of a crossover. No one was quite sure what it was, but the recipe was obviously right. And you guys originated the sector, correct?
Absolutely. We were the pioneer. We've kind of created the segment. It's true. We've defined what crossovers are about. Giving the best of both worlds, from the passenger car, from the refinement, the running cost, but delivering the more emotional aspect, high driving position of the crossover. So yeah, it has convinced many customers but also we managed to convince internally, because before we launched the car there was a lot of question mark more than answers.
Paid off, isn't it?
Absolutely.
I bet you had no idea how successful it would be.
Yeah, I have to say we were totally wrong in the planning we did for the car, because we forecasted to sell about 120,000 cars a year in Europe. We are double than that, so we were miserably wrong on the subject.
It was the right car at the right time, essentially, wasn't it?
Absolutely, yeah, the right idea, the right execution. So yeah, a real challenge for the market.
I must be very proud of it, because this is essentially you're the foster parent of this car. You've seen it grow, and you've got awards behind you to show what this car is achieving, and just how popular, and almost it's created a cult enthusiasm for it, which is something that's really quite difficult for a car or for a manufacturer to know that you can do. Absolutely,
this car is so popular, it's amazing, and every day I see one in the street, and you see many in the streets. I always feel that pride, and no, it's true, having the chance to be part of the first adventure, creating the first car, but also I worked from a different angle during the life of the car when we did the facelift, the mid-life design improvement. I also worked from a business aspect, and back here today, it feels like 7 years ago when we launched the very first Qashqai. So
it's been 7 years. It doesn't look that old.
Absolutely.
Well, thanks ever so much. For
My pleasure.
Thank you. I suppose it's a proud day for you.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, thank you. In a second, we're going to have a speech just behind me by Trevor Mann. Now, Trevor's the Nissan Executive Vice President, so an important chap. He's recently been granted the freedom of the City of Sunderland in recognition of his enormous contribution to the city's economy.
Chief Performance Officer and Executive Vice President, Nissan Motor Company, Trevor Mann.
Thank you. Okay, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm delighted to welcome you to be the very first to see the most important new Nissan in the decade so far. Today we are revealing the next generation crossover, the next generation Nissan Qashqai. Before we present the car to you, I want to take the opportunity to explain how Nissan has evolved and developed into being the undisputed global leader in the crossover segment. Back in 2006, I was head of Nissan UK's manufacturing plant in Sunderland. At that time, we were producing models like the Almera, the Primera. We were a highly regarded facility, producing around 300,000 cars per year. But we knew things were about to change when one day this car came along. Here was a model which took a risk. It wasn't a conventional C-segment hatchback, it wasn't an SUV. Yet it offered the best of both worlds in a stylish package, perfectly priced and superbly equipped. From the very start, Nissan designers, engineers and manufacturing staff, and everyone in between were extremely confident that we had a winning formula. But even we didn't anticipate the level of success that this car would bring. The outcome for Sunderland was an increase in production to more than 500,000 cars per year, from what is now regarded as one of the best manufacturing facilities in the world. Alongside the new Qashqai, Nissan Manufacturing UK also produces the Nissan Juke, our B-segment crossover, which has exceeded all expectations with total sales already exceeding 400,000. The all-new Nissan Note and the world's best-selling electric car, the Nissan Leaf. Having been consistently enhanced with the addition of premium technology offered at an affordable cost, the Qashqai has been a runaway success. 2 million have been produced, helping to make Nissan the biggest car producer here in the UK and making a significant contribution to a staggering total of 10 million cars that Nissan has built in Europe to date. We have achieved this success by being bold. We do not follow convention. We do not strive to merely meet market expectations. We strive to surpass them. With that in mind, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to invite you to see the next stage. Please make your way through the large door to your right, where Mr. Gone will reveal the next generation Qashqai for the very first time. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, please make your way to the next generation crossover stage and take your seats.
That was Trevor Mann saying that Nissan is the biggest car producer in Britain, and actually the Qashqai is the biggest volume car made in this country. They've sold well over 2 million of them. What's interesting is the Morris Minor was the first British-made car to reach the million production milestone. That took 12 years. The Qashqai, they made 1 million of those in Britain up in Sunderland in 4 years. Of course, the success of the car is based upon people actually buying them. That's why I've come to meet some owners of the Qashqai. Hello.
Hey, Laura.
Laura, pleased to meet you. Now, you've obviously been invited to this event as an enthusiastic owner.
Yeah.
You don't just buy a car because it's a box on wheels that happens to be reliable.
No.
For you, there's got to be more to it than that. So what I want to know is, what attracted you to buying one in the first place? What made it so interesting, so different?
Well, we wanted to get something, a family car, because I've got a son who's 3, and I just love the way it looked. I feel safe driving it, you know, it's up high, but it was perfect balance. It's not huge, where you can't park it anywhere.
Yep.
And I just loved everything that had on it, and it was just perfect for what we wanted. So my cousin had one, and I tried it out, and I loved it.
Is that right? Was
Yeah.
it your first Nissan?
Yes, it was, yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I mean, I'm guessing this is a big deal today, because you're going to see
Yeah.
the next generation car, which I'm guessing you probably will want to buy at some point.
Yeah.
And also, just seeing this car here. I mean, this is a 2007. This is
Yeah.
the first generation car. What amazed me is it's actually aged really quite well. It doesn't look as old
No,
as
they
what
look
it
great.
is.
No, I was lucky enough to get mine for Christmas last year from my other half.
For
It was
Christmas?
a surprise, yes. It was a surprise, yeah.
You're lucky so-and-so.
He knew what I wanted, but yeah. So, and I love it. It looks great, and I just love my car.
As you say, that's the DNA of it. It's got the SUV kind of
Yeah.
high-rise, chunky look, but without that sort of extra flab, with the economy.
Yep, it's brilliant.
economy.
Like, I've got a diesel one,
Yeah.
and the cost of just running it is fantastic. About £25 a week in diesel, and it's
Brilliant.
just really economic. So yeah, I love it.
We're going to have to go through
Yeah.
here. Thanks ever so
Thank
much.
you.
I'm not going to hold you up because we've got to walk through and have a
Yeah.
look.
Okay.
These doors have opened, so we're going to walk through. Let's go and
Thank
see what the future holds. So we're now going to go and watch. I'm going to put you through to a Vine video now that's been put together to show the life and birth of this new Qashqai and its journey to here and now.
It's here. Let's go.
Okay, we've just moved into another room, a bigger room actually, in this huge 3 Mills studio in East London. This is actually where they filmed many films, including Lock, Stock and Two Smoking Barrels. And I think this is where it's going to happen. My guess is as good as yours at this stage. There's a stage. There's such a scrum, and that's the thing about this car. They're not unveiling a supercar. This is not the GTR, some headline grabber for performance. The thing about the Qashqai is it's just a massive selling car. They make one in Sunderland every single minute of every day, which is the same as the birth rate in Great Britain. Sorry, excuse me. We're now going to go and meet 2 competition winners. Actually, 1 competition winner. Nissan ran a competition internally so that some of their employees could perhaps come to this unveiling, because although you work for Nissan, you don't necessarily come to one of these glitzy unveiling events. I'm going to keep my voice down because it's all quite atmospheric in here. Hi.
How are you?
How are you doing? You all right?
I'm doing all right. How about you?
Tell me what your name
My
is.
name's Roman.
Roman, now tell me what your title is for Nissan.
I work in Nissan as brand strategy manager, and communications as well.
In this country?
No, in Paris actually, in Nissan Europe.
So tell me about the competition. How did you win? What did you have to do?
Well, to be honest with you, I drove a note and learned a bit about it, and that's it really. So it's all about getting excited about the cars internally. I think that's a good opportunity for everybody to have to get behind the wheel and then find out about what we have to offer. And I think we're right about to see the next stage.
Wow. The thing is, although you work for Nissan, you don't get to come to these events presumably that often. Have you seen the Qashqai yet? Are you one of the people that have seen it internally? I'm sure that a lot of them have, but you have to just keep it a secret.
To be honest with you, I've been having my lips sealed since about 1.5 years. So I've seen the car first in front of customers.
Ladies and gentlemen,
I think
please
we've got a lot to look forward
Chief
to.
Executive Officer,
This is
Nissan
Carlos
Motor
Ghosn
Company,
about to unveil the
Carlos
car. Thank you.
Ghosn.
This is it.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Nissan Motor Company is focusing on the future like no other time in our 80-year history. We are in the midst of a significant product offensive and on track to deliver 51 all-new models within the 6 years of our midterm plan, Nissan Power 88. Today, with the reveal of the all-new Qashqai, we are taking an important step forward. We are building on the success that the iconic Qashqai has established since I unveiled the first model in Paris 7 years ago. Instantly, it was a game changer, and it quickly became a market leader. Qashqai's appeal cut across two distinct customer groups. The first, C-segment drivers looking for additional style, technology, and excitement. And second, downsizing SUV owners wanting to keep functionality, but seeking greater efficiency in a more compact package. Since 2007, we have sold 2 million Qashqai worldwide. Along with other top-selling vehicles like Murano, Juke, and X-Trail, Qashqai has helped Nissan to become the #1 Asian auto brand in the United Kingdom and position us to become the #1 Asian auto brand in all of Europe by 2016. Qashqai also has inspired, as you know, scores of imitators. Despite fierce competition, Qashqai has been the crossover segment's established leader, but we knew we could do better and go even further. The next generation of crossovers is now on the way, and the all-new Qashqai provides a window into the future of the segment. Over the next 18 months, Nissan Motor Company will be delivering 5 all-new crossovers. Each of these global growth models will reflect our passion for design, our commitment to safety and sustainability, and our belief that cutting-edge technology does not have to come at a premium price. This is certainly true for the refreshed, reinvented Qashqai. Without compromising Qashqai's versatility and value, the second-generation model sets new benchmarks for intelligent technology, efficiency, and safety. Its cutting-edge features include Nissan's Safety Shield, which incorporates the building blocks of the autonomous driving system. As we announced in August, Nissan Motor Company is successfully developing our own autonomous driving technologies, and we will be ready to bring autonomous driving vehicles to the market by the start of the next decade. Autonomous driving will take vehicle safety to a new level and advance our vision of a zero-accident, zero-fatality future for drivers, passengers, and pedestrians. Many of the safety components essential to our autonomous driving system are incorporated into the new Qashqai. These technologies include autonomous emergency braking, front collision avoidance, blind spot and lane departure warning, traffic sign recognition, and moving object detection. The new Qashqai is also equipped with intelligent parking assist and Nissan chassis control. But Qashqai's appetite for innovation doesn't stop there. When sales begin in January of 2014, the new Qashqai will be first model to go on sale with the new Nissan Connect system. Nissan Connect offers smartphone connectivity and provides access to a range of apps covering music, social networking, entertainment, and travel. Our commitment to innovation is also reflected in Qashqai's new design. Although we've retained Qashqai's strong visual DNA, the second generation model is new from the ground up. It's sleeker, longer, lower, wider, and roomier. Despite a reduction in height, the front and rear headroom levels and luggage capacity have actually increased. In terms of storage space, the new Qashqai is even further ahead of its C-segment rivals. With its wider powertrain range, the new Qashqai also achieves class-leading efficiency. A range of refined petrol and diesel engines offer powerful performance no matter which powertrain is chosen. Our engineering and design teams also took steps to ensure that the new Qashqai fits into drivers' lives and delivers exactly what they want. During the development process, we asked a select group of Qashqai drivers from across the world to share their ideas about how innovation looks and feels. Their feedback helped to inspire our focus on comfort, connectivity, and control, the three core elements that underpin the design and layout of the new Qashqai's cabin. The end result is an enhanced driving experience, one that combines the efficiency of conventional passenger cars with the sense of adventure embodied by SUVs. Like the new Rogue and X-Trail models, the second generation Qashqai is based on the new CMF-CD Common Alliance platform. Although platform sharing is nothing new for the lines, CMF will take our production synergies to the next level. By 2020, CMF-CD will underpin 11 Renault and 3 Nissan models and will be manufactured in more than 10 countries. CMF will also bring engineering and cost efficiencies to our customers. We expect CMF to help the Alliance reduce cost of parts per vehicle by up to 30%. And the new Qashqai will be the first CMF-based model to go on sale in Europe. This is fitting since the new Qashqai was designed and engineered by our experts here in Europe with extensive input from our teams in Japan. And it will be built at our Sunderland plant, the UK's largest auto production facility. We look forward to delivering the second generation Qashqai to markets around the world, and I wanted to be here to give you a first glimpse of the new Qashqai and to show you how, once again, Nissan is shaking up the status quo. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, Chief Executive Officer Nissan Motor Company Carlos Ghosn will now be available for a photo call with the new Nissan Qashqai.
Wow, that was pretty impressive, wasn't it? What a hell of a cinematic show. The first time I've actually seen the car, and of course Mr. Carlos Ghosn, good to see him again. Right. I'm joined now by a chap called Pons and a chap called Stuart. Now, guys, first of all, really good to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Secondly, tell me what your titles are.
I'm the Chief Marketing Manager for the Qashqai for Europe and Russia.
I'm the European Regional Product Manager for Europe and Russia as well.
So this is happy, exciting times for you guys.
Very exciting.
Absolutely, it's D-Day.
It is D-Day, quite. I mean, tell me about, well, first of all, let's talk about crossover. What is the definition of a crossover? Because Nissan claims that it invented the title, it invented this new genre.
Well, if you take away the bad parts of an SUV, the undesirable parts of an SUV, keep the good parts of it, and take the best parts
Ladies
of a passenger
and
car,
gentlemen,
combine
you are now
the two
invited
of them,
to
you've got a
experience the
crossover.
next generation
That's what we did back in
for
2007, and this
Please
is the
make
reinvented
your way
version
onto the
that you see.
stage and through the door at the rear. Here you will discover the new Nissan Qashqai and the people responsible for its creation
I want to be high and I want to
firsthand.
look like I'm in something extremely off-roady and rugged.
Absolutely.
Yeah, at the same time, like you say,
No compromise.
it doesn't weigh more than a normal car.
Exactly.
the MPG is the same as a normal car?
Actually, much better. It's at 99 grams of CO2. So for 3.8 liters per 100 kilometers, you get this car right up on stage with all the benefits of an SUV and the best bits of a passenger car.
Well, while everyone's finding out, let's talk engines, actually.
Yeah.
On the engines, we've got a few engines from launch. We've got diesels. We've got our 1.5 litre diesel, which is the one Pons mentioned with 99 grams. We've got our 1.6 litre diesel, which has got 130 horsepower. On the petrols, we've got a 1.2 downsized petrol engine, and we've also got a 1.6 petrol engine, which is coming a little bit later on in the year.
So 1.2, is that a four-cylinder, three-cylinder?
It's a four-cylinder engine, downsized technology. It's taking all the best new innovative technology that Nissan and the Alliance have developed, including the fuel system on the vehicle has been enhanced. We've also used some of the features like the cooling pumps, the oil pumps are better, more efficient, the cooling circuit works better, all these things to improve the efficiency for the customers.
Fantastic. So it's lighter, it's a slightly bigger car, and it's more efficient.
Exactly.
It's like a win-win scenario.
Absolutely. Not to mention, for the price of what you get a typical upper C-segment hatchback, you get this car right up on stage. So to put it in concrete terms, for the price of an equivalently equipped Volkswagen Golf, you get this car.
Stunning. Yeah. I hope you're having a good time. It's good, isn't it? Thanks so much for this, because I know you're busy guys today.
Cheers. Thank
you.
All right,
thank you.
Take care.
Right, we're now going to watch another video which highlights even more technology of the new Qashqai. Okay, we've now been ushered through into a third room. Behind me there is where Carlos and Gon just unveiled the car minutes ago. And actually in this room, amongst the people, you can see there's 3 new Qashqais to prod, touch, feel and enjoy. But now I've got to go and interview the CEO, Mr. Gon himself. So I had a look at the car. I literally had 2 minutes earlier to have a look at the car in private. Let's watch that video now. Okay, this is the first chance I've got to see the new Qashqai up close in the metal personally, and I've been granted literally 2 minutes with the car. You can hear in the background they're doing lots of rehearsals and they're still setting up this studio for the reveal. Now, the first thing you're greeted with on the front end is this V-shaped chrome accent on the grille, and that shape is continued across onto these 2 creases on the bonnet. The original Qashqai has 2 distinctive creases as well. And then if you look across here, this is a new hallmark feature, a chevron-shaped LED running light either side, and that chevron shape has been continued on the front bumper. The new Qashqai is actually ever so slightly lower and ever so slightly wider than the outgoing car, and yet it's lighter. You come around the side here, you can see this shape, this kick up the side door there. That continues on from the original. And the back end is more aggressive than the last car. What I would say is it looks more SUV-like than the predecessor, but yet, of course, it's not an SUV. It's a crossover. It's more of a car than an off-roader. Climbing in, though, this is where the Qashqai has miraculously changed. You're greeted with a much more prestige interior than the last car. You've got gloss piano black plastic here, chrome accents, mood lighting. Right in the middle of the car is Nissan's Connect infotainment touchscreen system, and that incorporates the 360-degree around view cameras. Also, what I'm sat on, this has changed significantly. NASA is involved in these seats, Nissan tells me. NASA technology, where they've been measuring the occupants the pressure points of an occupant when they sit in the car. They've been measuring the blood flow and the points at which your bones, I suppose, come into contact with the seats and made the parts of the seats more comfortable. So the car's a lot more technologically advanced than it used to be, and it's also a lot more prestige and comfortable, which is no bad thing. Okay, we now have the privilege of meeting Mr. Carlos Ghosn, the CEO of Nissan itself. Hello, Mr. Ghosn.
How are you?
Thanks ever so much for your time. I know this is busy times for you. Tell me about how you feel about the Qashqai. First of all, it's a car that, when it was first released in 07, was actually a surprise success for you guys.
Yeah.
What does the future hold?
Well, it was a success, but at the same time, it was. You know, we had to confirm all the good things we thought about this car. And as you know, it created a trend, it created a new segment. There are many competitors, but the Qashqai has been leader of its segment since the beginning. For the 7 years in a row, by far, it has been the leader of the segment. So we wanted to come with another generation Qashqai. As I said, you know, roomier, better, lower emission. Everything is much better. We put all the technology, the updated technology of Nissan in it, and our intention is to continue to lead this very important segment of the market. So hopefully you're going to be able to see it and show it to your viewers.
Because when it first came out, it didn't really have a rival as such, but now there's nothing short of 14 imitators, if you like.
Yeah.
Now, for me, I mean, the important thing for me is that you came on board on Nissan in '99, and then you became the CEO in 2001. You're widely regarded as a sort of saviour of Nissan, if you like. It's gone from being near bankruptcy to firmly in the black.
Yeah.
How does it feel for you, looking back to 2001 now?
Look, we you know, a lot of development have been made in Nissan for the last years. That means we more than doubled our size. We are today a much more healthier company than before. You know, we have a lot of technology. We are taking the lead on many of them, which counting on the future. One of them are the zero-emission car. The second one is on autonomous driving. Yeah. So I really feel good about the efforts that all the Nissan people, both in terms of engineers, but also people working in our plants and in different aspects of the company, have been carrying the revival of the company and making it one of the powerhouse of the auto industry. Not only powerhouse in terms of financial results, but and healthy balance sheet, but particularly powerhouse in terms of product innovation and technology innovation.
What does Qashqai mean to you personally?
Look, Qashqai is the #1 car sold in Europe for Nissan. So for a lot of people, it may be a small car, a sedan. For us, it's a crossover. It represents more than 30% of the volume of the cars sold in all Europe for Nissan. It's a very profitable car because that's the way it should be. You know, when a car pleases consumer, they reward you with a lot of profit. So we have a lot at stake with the new generation of Qashqai. So we put a lot of technology in it, a lot of innovation, and our intent is to keep the leadership on this segment for the next 6 years.
Well, I think you're making pretty firm tracks thus far. Are you going to be driving a Qashqai, or do you still drive a GTR?
Yeah, no, I can tell you that I drive Qashqai. I drive many cars, but Qashqai is one of them.
I know you're a busy man, and there's queues of people wanting to interview. So, Mr. Ghosn, thanks ever so much for your time. Thank you.
Thank you. Good to see you.
Take care. Yeah. Now we're going to look at another video highlighting some of the technology behind this Qashqai. Going to go. Okay, so now I've managed to shimmy through the crowd and get to next to one of these. My next interviewee is Andy Palmer. Now, Andy's actually the Nissan Executive Vice President, so I'm going to go find him in a second and bring him in. Talk about... Oh, Andy.
Hello there, how are you?
Yeah, really good to see you.
Good to see you too.
These are exciting times, obviously.
It's an exciting day for sure.
Yeah, I mean, for me, the car has become such a massive phenomenon, and actually it seems to me, I can't believe it came out in 07 because it seems to be quite young, even looking at the old one. But
well, certainly the lifetime management has been extraordinary, and as you know, every year it's increased its sales. Obviously we had a big minor change that kept it very fresh, but you're right, today it looks fresh, but I think as you can see, this moves and reinvents the whole segment all over again.
When you look back to sort of 2006, I said earlier, Nissan was bookended as it is now with Micra at one end and GTR at the other, two sort of legends in their own right, but the stuff in between wasn't that memorable.
Sure.
And now this has come along and flipped that completely on its head.
Right.
And you've got EVs as well.
Well, as you say, we've got a lot of iconic cars out there now. Of course, in terms of Nissan in Europe, Qashqai is really, really important, and I would say the icon of Nissan in Europe and indeed in China as well. But obviously you've got other vehicles in the mix now. Leaf, as you said, leading the march on EVs. You've got the new Note. You know, we really have filled in those bookends, and in many cases invented the segment. You know, invented this segment. The Duke inventing its own segment, and that's really what we're about: innovation and excitement.
The original Qashqai, I suppose, was nothing short of a gamble, really, because it could have easily gone wrong. But it just seemed to be the right car at the right time, when most people might have liked the idea of an SUV, but the reality of living with one was sort of unbearable and unrealistic.
Sure. Well, I'd like to think we don't gamble. I'd like to think we do our research properly. We always put the customer first. We figured that there was a space in the market for something that gave that spaciousness, that SUV feel, but basically with all of the practicalities of a C-segment car, and that's what drove the genre. And I think we've shown that we were very, very successful. We were also very much on line with the trend about how urbanization was moving, how technology was moving. And again, hopefully we've predicted that again right with this car, and you've seen a lot of the technology embedded in here moves us towards autonomous driving vehicle.
Absolutely. I suppose my next question is you've recently unveiled the X-Trail.
Yes.
You've got EVs in full swing. Duke is very successful. Obviously the next generation GTR, is that the next big thing emerging from Nissan's HQ?
You know, it's a really difficult question. We launch about 10 new cars a year. During our midterm plan, we're launching 51 new cars. They're all my babies. They're all important. I mean, some are more important than others, perhaps, but there are some phenomenal cars coming. I mean, today, this one is clearly the star, and I would say this embeds everything that we know about SUVs. But it's clear we've got new Murano and new Maxima coming in the United States. Clearly, you've said X-Trail is a very important car. And yes, ultimately, there will be some interesting evolutions in the sports car side of our business, and you have the opportunity to see those very, very shortly at Tokyo Motor Show.
Finally, what does Qashqai mean to you personally?
It's a very personal car. Obviously, I've been in Nissan for 25 years. I saw the good times and bad times in Nissan Europe. This car basically reinvigorated Nissan in Europe, so it's such an important car. And you know, every car you put a little bit of yourself into. This one in particular, we can point out some of the design that we've brought here. You know, this grille and V-form, which starts to become now part of our design language. I'm very, very proud of what the design team have done on this car. The technology is phenomenal. Really has moved up another gear, and you see that it's been embedded in wonderful perceived quality. The comfort of this car, when you get to drive it, it's very well planted, and I'm particularly pleased with the diesel with the automatic transmission. I think it's going to change people's perception of CVT. And finally, just more space. We managed to keep the proportions right, but just more space. So it's like a little TARDIS inside.
I'm so glad I've got a minute to chat with you today, Andy. Thanks, because obviously this is a massive event.
Yes.
I'm now going to move on. We're going to do a video now. We're going to introduce a video which is highlighting some of those additional technologies which are inside the new Qashqai, which you can see right now. Obviously, these 3 cars in this third room that we've come into are now being prodded and stroked to keep them come. Everyone's checking out the boot space, the increased room inside that Carlos Ghosn points out, the fact that although the car's slightly lower and wider, it's actually better in almost every respect. I'm going to try and butt in. Hang on. It's all getting quite interesting.
Sometimes load up the car all the way to the top. You can just take this right out and you can store that piece right in the bottom.
Sorry, I'm just going to butt in a minute.
Sure.
I just want to ask, can I just ask you, tell me what your thoughts are on the new Qashqai.
It looks cool. The rear lights a bit from the Ford Focus, maybe a bit, but it looks cool. Yeah.
It's more aggressive than the last car.
That's
I
true.
would say, isn't it? More.
That's true.
It looks more SUV-y.
Actually, I said more sportier.
Do you?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Well, that's. What's your favourite aspect of it?
I'm not sure because it is my very first impression. Maybe the front is very sporty.
There's an element of Murano at the front, I think. Would you?
Well, like a bit exterior.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. Thank you ever so much. Sorry to
No, not a problem.
butt in. I'm going to move around now. I'm going to speak to the guy in the driver's seat. Let's see if he's texting a friend. Well, they're deep in conversation there. I'm now going to actually interview one of the designers of the car, the main designer of the car. His name's Tatsuki Nakamura. He's actually next to me just talking to a journalist. Now, he's the design director for Nissan Europe, so he knows everything about the way this car looks. I'm really sorry. Tatsuki Nakamura, pleasure to meet you. Thanks ever so much for your time.
Yeah.
I know this is a busy, massively important event for you. Well, this is the closest I've got to the car so far. Let's talk about your favourite aspect of it first and foremost, because I know you've probably been looking at this car for 2 years, 3 years.
Yes, that's correct. So what I like about the car is basically packaging and proportions.
Yep.
And also front quarter view is quite dynamic view to show powerful fenders and also sleek, streamlined cabin silhouette.
So lower roof line than the last
Lower roof
car.
line. So it's kind of making 2 different aspects. One is a robust SUV.
Yeah.
Which kind of represented by the big wheel, deep sculpture, and also powerful body sections. And also the sleek-looking cabin, and that kind of very sporty enhancement of 5-door hatchback.
Now,
so it's 2 aspects combine each other, and then connected with a very fluid surfacing.
It's a handsome beast, and actually, I was at the Geneva Motor Show back in 2012 when the concept of the High Cross was released, and I can see a lot of parts of the High Cross in here, and I can also see some aspects, especially at the front end of the Murano, which is obviously the more luxurious SUV in the range. Now, tell me about how did you arrive at a finished design? I mean, how many processes do you have to go through to sign off a car, a Nissan like this?
Yeah, in general in design, we start from a sketch, pencil sketch, and then of course we have a concept behind the object, and then we try to capture Qashqai-ness. How can we express new Qashqai, because it's quite difficult to beat quite successful model. So it was a big pressure, but we try to.
It's actually quite a treasured car, isn't it now?
Yeah. So we looked at the kind of basic element which I explained before. What is crossover? What makes Qashqai element? So the designer actively create attractive sketches, and then we went to the scale model, full scale model, and finally we went to the prototype stage. So dealing with the final adjustment of quality, making sure that all the right things are set. So I'm happy to announce that today.
How many versions did you go through, prototypes, before you arrived at this finished one? Are we talking 10, 20,
I've never
30?
counted, but well, it's quite a lot actually. So we usually work on a crane model, which is very kind of soft material. It's like a brownish material.
Yeah.
But since we moved to hard model stage, it's more like this. So its car looks exactly same as the final condition, but it's still design model.
What does it mean to you, the Qashqai?
Qashqai is an ultimate car for everybody. and then still kind of developing from the original Qashqai. So I hope people like it, and thank you very much.
Well, look, I know this is a big deal for you guys, and thanks so much for sharing a bit of time with me. Thank you.
Thank you.
I wish you all the best as well. So obviously you've just seen the world unveiling of Nissan's new golden child, the new Qashqai. So I'm going to leave you with images of when Carlos Ghosn revealed the car to the world. Thanks ever so much for watching. I've been Johnny Smith. Good night.